Are you overinvested in the United States? Are you in the typical 70-30 portfolio? If so, we should really discuss the rewards of diversified portfolio investing. I'll cut to the chase. Here we have a risk-return graph with return on this axis and risk on this axis. Typically, you'd want low risk and high returns. You'd want to be up here with low risk and high returns, but we know that's not how the world really works. If you want to get towards the top left, you need to stop thinking about just the trade-off between US bonds and US stocks, but you need to embrace global multi-asset class diversification. Let's look at the results. A diversified portfolio would have defied the commonly held belief concerning risk and return. You could have had lower risk and a higher return than most of these individual assets. The power of diversification is really, really incredible. Let's look at a few things really quickly. The 5 worst calendar years. So in the last 45 years, what was the worst year for the US stock market? It was down 36%. Of course, there was a down 25, down 21, down 14, down 11. And although this chart doesn't show it, there was of course down 9s, down 4s, etc. Many down years for US stocks. How about US bonds over the last 45 years? Many down years. International stocks and international bonds. Many down years. Real estate, gold, commodities, of course, many down years. That diversified portfolio would have had only 4 losing years in the last 45 years. Diversification is so powerful. Let's fast forward. How about rolling 10-year periods? Pick any single 10-year period in the last 45 years. What was the lowest 10-year average annual return for that diversified portfolio? 6.5% was the lowest average annual return. How about if you were in the S&P 500? If you had bad luck, if you picked a bad decade for the S&P 500, you would have averaged negative 1.4% per year for 10 years. Take luck out of the equation. Minimize luck. Become diversified. We can also talk about things like the valuation of the US stock market. This is Shiller PE chart. Robert Shiller won a Nobel Prize. PE stands for price earnings ratio. Here's where the US stock market is today. It's been this expensive 3 times ever. Right before the 2008 crash, during the internet bubble, and right before the Great Depression. We can talk about all these things and more, but I know your time is precious. My lawyers want you to read these disclaimers. Please do feel free to reach out to us. We would love to talk about this whole presentation and how we implement global multi-asset class diversification.